Here is my disclaimer: the following information was obtained from historical records, eyewitness accounts, other information sources, and including my own opinion. Since I was not always there at the time to verify it, it may or may not be correct. The AMC AMX is a two-seat GT-style muscle car produced by the American Motors Corporation from 1968 through 1970. As one of just two American-built two-seaters, the AMX was in direct competition with the 1-inch longer wheelbase Chevrolet Corvette for substantially less money. It was based on the new 1968 Javelin, but with a shorter wheelbase and deletion of the rear seat. In addition, the AMX's rear quarter windows remained fixed, making it a coupe, while the Javelin was a true two-door hardtop. Fitted with the standard high-compression 290 or optional 343 and 390 engines, the AMX offered sporty performance at an affordable price. Despite the performance value and initial reception by automotive media, sales never met expectations. The automaker's larger objectives to refocus AMC's image on performance and to bring younger customers into its dealer showrooms were achieved. After 3 model years, the two-seat version was discontinued, making this a somewhat rare car today. The AMX name originates from the American Motors experimental code used on a concept vehicle. American Motors unveiled the AMX concept at the Society of Automotive Engineers convention at Cobo Hall in January 1966. The car made its public debut on February 18 at the 58th Annual Chicago Automobile Show. The AMX displayed at that show a two-door sports coupe with a rear rumble seat they called Ramble Seat. The 1968 AMX was also the only mass-produced, domestic two-seater to share the market with Chevrolet's Corvette since the 1957 Thunderbird. With a short 97-inch wheelbase, the AMX's direct competition was the 1-inch longer 98-inch Chevrolet Corvette. The AMX's manufacturer's suggested retail price of $3,245 was nearly 25% below and over $1,000 less than the Corvette's price tag. In 1968, American Motors promoted the mid-model year launch of the AMX to automotive journalists at Daytona to emphasize its sports car performance, as well as with a marketing agreement with Playboy Enterprises. To introduce the AMX to its dealers, AMC held meetings at 9 Playboy clubs. The AMX was introduced to the public on February 24, 1968, 5 months after the Javelin and other 1968 AMC cars. All AMXs came with 4-barrel carbureted small-block AMC V8 engines in several versions, 290 cubic inch, which was rated at 225 horsepower. The 343 cubic inch that made 280 horsepower, as well as the 390 cubic inch that made 315 horsepower. The 390 had a forged steel crankshaft and connecting rods, as well as larger rod bearings. The AMX came with 354 gears but had optional gear ratios of 315, 410, and 444. A Borg-Warner T10 4-speed manual transmission was standard, as were special traction bars, dual exhaust system, and fatter tires for better traction. A shift-command 3-speed automatic transmission with the capability of manual shifting was optional together with a floor console-mounted shifter. In January 1968, 2 specially prepared AMXs set 106 world speed and endurance records at Goodyear's track in Texas, driven by world land speed record holder Craig Breedlove, his wife Lee, and Ron Dykes. As a way to promote the new car, AMC's manager for performance activities, Carl Chakmakian, asked Breedlove to put the AMX through its paces before the new cars were even available for sale. Breedlove's Spirit of America crew and Traco Engineering had 6 weeks to prepare the cars before they were to be displayed at the Chicago Auto Show in February. The AMC V8 engines, such as the 290 engine and the 390, was race-prepped. The shop installed exhaust headers, 8-quart oil pans, oil coolers, high-rise intake manifolds, racing camshafts with solid lifters and stronger springs, and larger carburetors. The cars had engine and rear-end oil coolers and 37-gallon cell-type safety fuel tanks. Chassis preparation included heavy-duty front and rear springs, which was part of the factory's optional handling package. Stock wheels and tires were replaced by wide magnesium racing wheels and Goodyear racing tires. Breedlove also took the AMX to Bonneville, reaching 189 miles per hour in a United States Auto Club sanctioned run, as well as an unofficial run of over 200 miles per hour. The 1968 Playmate of the Year Angela Dorian was awarded a specially painted Playmate Pink 1968 AMX. It was powered by the base 290 V8 with an automatic transmission, air conditioning, tilt wheel, AM 8-track radio, and optional rear bumper guards. Aside from the unique color, it differed from other AMXs with its dashboard number plate containing Dorian's measurements, making her car AMX 362435. Some sources describe other AMXs to have been painted Playmate Pink at the factory. AMC's marketing vice president, Bill McNeely, who handed over the keys to Angela Dorian, mentioned that a number of them were finished in pink. An estimated 22 new AMXs were modified by Thoroughbred Motors in Denver, Colorado for select AMC dealerships to have ready-made racers for both the drag strips and road courses. They were named Von Piranha, and the changes included the addition of 2 sets of air scoops on each C-pillar with ducts to cool the rear brakes and on the roof above the windshield that was reportedly functional to cool the cockpit on racebred versions. The AMX's twin hood bulges were cut open to increase airflow in the engine bay. It is believed the original Piranha buildup included the intake stamped with the Von Piranha logo. The sales manager at Thoroughbred at the time and local racing legend, Ronald Hunter, raced a Piranha at the Continental Divide raceways and other events. In 1969, the AMX saw only slight changes, except for a $52 increase in its base price. The 5-spoke Magnum 500 steel road wheels were no longer chrome-plated, but now came with a stainless steel trim ring. The racing stripes were now available in 5 colors. The interior featured a revised instrumentation with the 8,000 RPM tachometer moved to match the speedometer that was now calibrated to 140 miles per hour. Interior door panels were revised, carpeting was upgraded, new leather upholstery was optional. Starting in January 1969, all manual transmission AMXs came with a Hurst floor shifter. The center console-mounted 3-speed shift command automatic remained optional. A Big Bad paint option for $34 became available starting in mid-1969. The neon brilliant blue, orange, and green exteriors included color-matched front and rear bumpers, as well as a special slim bright lower grille molding for the front bumper and 2 vertical rubber-faced painted bumper guards for the rear. The California 500 Special is a version of 1969 AMXs that was sold only by members of the Southern California American Motors Dealer Association. It was part of a marketing campaign to commemorate the 1969 season at the Riverside International Raceway. They would serve as pace cars and the dealers would sell replicas. All were finished in Big Bad green with black stripes and included the 390 Go-Pack, automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, adjustable steering wheel, tinted windows, radio, light group, visibility group, and a saddle leather interior. The cars also featured a trendsetter Sidewinder exhaust side pipes in place of the molding strips on the rocker panels and were identified by brass plaques mounted on the hood that had cross-checkered racing flags and the words 500 Special. A total of 283 AMXs were built in Big Bad green for the 1969 model year. However, the exact number of California 500 Special versions is unknown, with only an estimate of 32. AMC also introduced the Superstock AMX. The cars came without radios, one of the 2 horns, clocks, heaters and heater controls, undercoating, sound dampening material, grille supports, fender bracing or rocker moldings. Hurst Performance and engine builder H.L. Shahan carried out the modifications. To maximize quarter-mile performance, the 390 engine was equipped with twin Holley carburetors and 12-to-1 pistons, plus aftermarket Doug's headers and exhaust system, and the tires were drag slicks. American Motors rated the car at 340 horsepower, but the National Hot Rod Association rated it at 420 horsepower and shuffled it among various competition classes that included SSG and SSD. The Superstock AMXs were also put in SSE class by NHRA based on the car's 3,050-pound weight and estimated 405 horsepower, and ultimately slotted into the SSC class. They ran in the low 11s on the tracks. The best recorded quarter mile was a 1073 at 128 miles per hour. The base price was $5,994, approximately $1,900 more than a fully loaded regular 1969 AMX. As you may have guessed, there was no factory warranty available for these cars. The Pikes Peak International Hill Climb used 1969 AMXs as pace cars for the hill climb race to the summit of Pikes Peak that was held on June 29, 1969. The AMX pace and courtesy cars were used by racers including Bobby Unser to practice the week before the race up the mountain. There were 10 to 12 pace and courtesy AMXs, and all were equipped with the 390 Go Pack option and finished in frost white with red stripes and red interiors. In 1970, American Motors AMX advertising headlined, "We made the AMX look tougher this year because it's tougher this year." They were moderately upgraded but resembled the first two model years, but the changes were different enough to be a separate design for 1970. Featured was a new front-end design with a longer hood that had a scoop with two large openings. These were a functional cold ram air induction system with the popular Go package available with the 360 and 390 engines. The new grille and the revised rear end also featured full-width tail lamps and a single center-mounted backup light. Riding on the same wheelbase 97-inch as before, the changes increased the AMX's overall body length by about 2 inches. American Motors also changed the AMX's engine lineup for 1970 with the introduction of a new 360 cubic inch 4-barrel that made 290 horsepower to replace the 343 V8. The smaller 290 was dropped and AMC could claim 65 more base horsepower than the AMXs featured previously. The 390 engine continued, but upgraded to new heads with 51cc combustion chambers that increased power to 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPM with 430 pound-feet of torque at 3,200 RPM. The Go package was available with the 360 including power front disc brakes, F7014 raised white letter tires, handling package, heavy-duty cooling, and the ram air induction system for $298 or including the 390 engine for $383. The manufacturer's suggested retail price for the 1970 base model was $3,395. The 1970 model was also the last true AMX production car. These first two pictures are of prototype AMX2, and it was followed by the 1970 AMX3 which Giotto Bizzarini built 6 running prototypes. The original projection by AMC called for building 5,000 AMX3s per year, but the estimated retail price kept increasing. Escalating costs and pending bumper regulations put a stop to the mid-engined AMX3 and the program was cancelled. I read the AMX3s that were built are still in existence today. I will admit I grew up being brand loyal to one of the big three, but as you see in my other videos I include AMC AMXs, Javelins, Rebels and yes even Gremlins. I used them in my YouTube thumbnails because AMC's performance cars always intrigued me growing up. So I will close with this. The 1968 to 1970 AMXs sold to the public were only the beginning and proof that the last of the independent American automakers with a relatively small engineering and design staff had the ambition and drive to build an American performance sports car. Please comment below. As always, thanks for watching.